Colleagues, we continue our working day, and now I give the floor to the representatives of Chief Intelligence Department of the Ministry of Defense to Ukraine, Mr. Vadym Skybytskyi, on the topic current situation tendencies in temporarily occupied areas of Donetsk and Luhansk region. The floor is yours. Good afternoon, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, today Chief Intelligence Department prepared for you a brief description of the situation in the east of our country. In general, the situation in temporarily occupied territory in Donetsk and Luhansk region is still complicated and is characterized by the keeping the pressure in the area of Avdiivka and Novotroitska, attempt of the enemy to widen the controlled territories, continuation of the breach of the Minsk agreement on heavy weaponry withdrawal and firing, and also training and combat elements of the 1st and 2nd Army Corps in the single system of operative and combat preparation of the armed forces of Russian Federation. Enemy continues breaking Minsk agreements. We fixed 379 firings of the position of Ukrainian troops. It's almost 100 more than last week. The highest intensivity of the firing is in Slavyansk and Donetsk direction, in the area of the settlements Zaitsevo, Mayorsk, Avdiivka, Opytne, Pisky, and Marinka. Also, we fixed the effect of heavy weapons next to the contact line. During the week on the territories controlled by the separatists, the intelligence service of Ukraine found 37 facts of breach of Minsk agreement. A lot of facts fixed of non-withdrawal of artillery system. In 15-kilometer areas, there were 20 facts, and in 25-kilometer zone, 7 facts. We found Grad machines in the settlements Gorlivka, Donetsk, Yasinovat, and Mineralna. Also, there are more artillery systems in Gorlivka, Donetsk, and Makiivka now. This information was given to the representatives of the OEC monitoring mission. Except for that, at the occupied territories, planned events are going on to join the parts of 1st and 2nd Army units. During the week, the departments of both units were working on the issue of tactical training. The most actively, they were using equipment and weaponry at the polygons next to the settlement Uspenka, Shemshinivka, Bugaivka, Novopavlivka, Karlo-Marksovo, and Markine. Also, during the week, it was noted the tactical training with the elements of attacks and forces of what is circumstances. Also, we found this training in the area of Kuznetsov-Mikhailivka by the units of the 1st Brigade. Also, now there is an active preparation for the training planned to the first half of the April this year. These events will be the final stage of the winter period of training. Chief Intelligence Department of the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine continue on working, collecting the facts of the crimes on the temporarily occupied territories. It was found out that the rotation happened, and the units of 3rd Separate Brigade of Special Forces came there. And I would like to remind you that Captain Yerofeev and Sergeant Alexandrov were the part of this team. These people were detained on the 16th of May 2015 by the intelligence of the Brigade 92 of the Armed Forces of Ukraine after the combat in the area of Shasta settlement. Yerofeev and Alexandrov confirmed the facts of presence of combat units of armed forces of Russian Federation. But Nadia Savchenko, who is detained illegally in the territory of Ukraine, was defending her own land, her motherland, and it was on our territory. Due to that fact, the Chief Intelligence Department keeps on looking the activities of the militaries of sabotage groups of the capital Yerefeev. It was found out that 8 out of 14 militaries of this group are dealing with combat tasks in the territory of Syria. And I mean the following people: Azimov, Yulaev, Spiridonov, Nemov, Makorin, and Corporals Konovalov, Muhammedov, and Grigoriev. We got information about their personal data and we will use it to prepare the complaints. Chief Intelligence Department also continues to identify Russian militaries who take part in the military actions on the territory of Ukraine. For today, there are new data about the citizens of Russia who was a part of the military unit 1 and 2 who fight against Ukrainian people. Among them, Dmitry Alexei, he is a citizen of St. Petersburg. He had service in Air Trooper Division number 76. Fadeev Arseniev, he is also a citizen of St. Petersburg. He had service in the Marine Regiment 390. Korenev Vyacheslav, citizen of Murmansk region. He had service in the Air paratroopers of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, and Nikolai Grigoriev, who had service in the internal troops of the Armed Forces of Russian Federation. The actions of the military intelligence of Ukraine about finding out of the participation of Russian officers and generals who are managing the Russian troops on the temporary occupied territory make Russian management to make their early rotation. According to our data, manager of the 1st Army Unit, General Major Asapov, went to Moscow urgently because they are considering the issue of his urgent replacement, because there were publications in Ukrainian and international mass media. The data regarding him and other Russian militaries who were doing crimes on the territory of Ukraine. I would like to point out your attention that during last 3 days, the main site of the Chief Intelligence Department of the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine was suffering from cyber attacks with the aim to stop its work. First of all, it's connected to the fact that we publish regularly information about the actions of Russian militaries on our territories. It was found out that this targeted influence was made with the aim to stop the work. It was made with the help of IP addresses registered in the territory of Russia and temporarily occupied area of Donetsk region. Also, it was found out that this activity is coordinated by Information Counteraction Center of the South Military Area of Armed Forces of Russian Federation. During the last week, sabotage intelligence groups of the activities were more active with the involvement of Russian militaries. In the area of the settlements Krasnogorivka, Marinka, and Novotroitska, the activity of such group was fixed from parachute paratrooper regiment 331 that is dislocated in Kostroma. It was found out that former Russian militaries are a part of the group, and they were mobilized in 2015 with the aim to participate in combat actions on the territory of Ukraine. During the combat attack from these groups of the enemy in area, Chief Corporal Kharkonidze Sergei Leonidovich was killed, who had services up to 2010 in the Armed Forces of Russian Federation, and in 2015 he came back to his service. According to the certificate given by the Central Archive of the Ministry of Defense of Russia on 25th of November 2015, this Corporal Harkonidze, he had service and took part in the southern area of Russian Federation. This document is original. So as we can see, Russian Federation is still goes on its plan with the actions against Ukraine, and keeps on sending its mercenaries to the Ukrainians with the participation of state bodies with Russian Federation. That's all from me, and I'm ready for questions.
Thank you. Now we have the Q&A session, so please introduce yourselves. Alexei Kasparovsky, Turkey, Ukraine. I have the question. Do you have any information about who actually opposes the Ukrainian armed forces near Donetsk? I'm talking about Mariinka, Zaitseva, Gorlivka, and Avdiivka. Are those Cossacks, some kind of insurgent, well, the Russian troops? Okay, today we are talking about the troops of the First Army Corps of the Russian occupationist troops. It's no longer Cossacks; they're regular troops. Mostly, they are hirelings from the Russian Federation. They are actually their command is the military personnel from the Russian Federation, and those Cossacks, we said, or the insurgents, the former combatants who were directly reporting to the commander of the corps, number 1 or 2, they are dismissed now, and they serve in the regular troops of the 1st and 2nd Corps in the brigades and regiments. Another question. In the Facebook, Facebook carried the information that allegedly Sakharchenko issued the order to kill the wounded persons. I cannot confirm this information, their own, I mean. But I must say that the losses among the occupationist troops are quite big, including those killed and wounded. Every day we register about 50 persons killed and even more of the wounded. So can you tell us approximately the losses among the Russian troops near Avdiivka, and can you confirm the Russian Federation sent the General Lisov to Syria? Speaking about the data about Avdiivka or other populated area, I already mentioned that the losses are quite tangible. Each day, if we're talking about those killed or wounded, about 20 persons. And the figures of the losses, they are, they are hidden. I mean, they're not open. Data specifically even about the hospitals where those killed or wounded persons are taken. Yes, we can confirm that himself is now in Syria, but there are some other piece of information which we verified today. Sergei Malerchuk, UCMC, can you say, do you use in your work the resource of Semenka Bakayev, Stopterov, who for 2 years have been active using the volunteers and collecting different data? Do you use those data or not, or do you cooperate with him? I can say only one thing, that the military intelligence of Ukraine uses all possible source of information, including open source of information, or to verify, to accumulate, or to collect the data, acquire data. There is information that near the Sea of Azov, near Novozovsk, there is a Russian intelligence unit which gathers the intelligence information, including the radio electronic warfare. Yes, we have such information. They are using different means, like the intelligence reconnaissance vessels, the reconnaissance aircraft flying along the state frontier of Ukraine. As for the subversive sabotage groups of the enemy, they target their activities to collect the information, to gather information about our armed forces. Any more questions? If none, thank you, Vadym. This is the end of our press conference, and the next press briefing will take place at 1:30 p.m. Thank you.